Hi everyone, I'm going to start by drawing the outline in pencil really quickly. If you prefer to do this with the tracing method where you put the graphite on the back of your photograph, then you can do that. However, I like to practice drawing using my observational skills, looking back and forth to draw the outline. Once you have done that, then you will use the charcoal, which I have provided for you, and this is going to be quite tricky to do on this textured surface, which is exactly the point. So we're doing a copy of the artist Dine, and we're taking key characteristics like the scribbles and the charcoal, and to do this I'm going to start with going over the outline, more detailed and refined where it's not as dark. And down here I'm just going to use the side of the charcoal to create like darker shadows, and then with the top of the charcoal apply more pressure where it needs to be darker. Because it's compressed, quite a lot of compressed charcoal, a lot of the dust might come off. So keep checking what your work actually looks like as you go. Well, the surface I've given you has tissue paper on it. It also has some emulsion in some parts. So where you can see the white paint, it's actually emulsion, which makes it a little bit more difficult to get a refined drawing. And as I said, that's exactly the point. It's to challenge us to work with the texture that we have. Earlier in the week, or last week, some of you struggled with the black and white task of the wrapped object because you couldn't get the lines. You wanted to get it more refined. So that's the challenge that we are giving ourselves. So for the next part, I'm going to use a blending stump, and using the charcoal from down here, I'm going to blend that into my outline that I have, just so that I get quite a refined light gray line, which I have more control of. You can see this example I've done earlier. That's another of his drawings. I didn't use the stump much other than like the reflections on the scissors. However, for this drawing it's a little bit different, where I use the remainder of the charcoal, or the excess, sorry, to use that for my light and medium shading. Okay, so keep working into it, and then we want to also work into the background a little bit. So here it's a little bit more blended, whereas down here where it's more scribbly, you can do that if you want, or the texture of the tissue might give you a similar look as well. So just keep working into it until it looks as close to the artist as possible.